Hey y'all, hope you're having a good day. So I guess by now we all know that Mary was on the interview room. She had made a phone call to Don Wells. I guess they kind of set it up before she made that call to try to get information. He did say some interesting things. One, he wants Mary to buffer in between him and Jeannie and get her to drop the charges. What he doesn't realize is there are 5 in total. So even if she did, he's still going to be looking at charges for essaying these women. He also said something about in California being at a place of business, if you want to call it that, where they were selling children. Now, this is not the first time we've heard this from him, although straight from his mouth, this was kind of alarming. He also has made comments about seeing children in hotel rooms and Mexico in regards to selling children. So the fact that he knows all these places kind of gives me a jab in the heart when I think about Summer.
And then tell her, look, I've told the truth from the beginning about Summer. Me and Candace both have.
Okay.
We haven't wavered one bit, and we're not going to, because we told the truth from the beginning.
Right.
But nobody wants to believe us.
Right.
You know, I remember many times throughout my life, girls hitting on me. I've been to places in California where I've been to some places where there were little kids, where people were trying to sell these little kids.
Oh, wow.
I've seen a lot of shit.
He doesn't know why we don't believe him. It's because of all the actions that you and Candace have done from the very first time that Summer came up missing, all of your behavior, all of the craziness, all of the corrupt friends that you have, the neglect that we have seen, the deterioration of Summer in pictures. Are we being too hard on you? What about the uncleanliness of your home? What about not feeding your kids properly? What about all the domestic violence that they witnessed in their lives? What about the alcohol and drugs that these kids have been forced to live with? What about you taking a little girl who loves princesses and shave her head completely to the scalp? That doesn't scream love to me. It screams dysfunction. And what about you taking off to Knoxville and hooking up with prostitutes and spending money that could have went to help find your daughter on crack cocaine? What about all of that? What about all of that?
There's all kind of sickos out there.
Yeah.
That want money for drugs or whatever. I don't know. But, yeah, I've seen some crazy shit in California.
Wow.
You have seen some crazy stuff. We have seen some crazy stuff right there in Tennessee. And yes, there are some sick people in the world, and you are one of them, in my opinion.
Your son exiting the Wells yard, going into the woods, and exiting out onto Benny Hill Road where the person that was chasing him lost him. And then they later found him standing beside Jody Sue's car. He was at the bottom of Dawn and Candace's driveway, blowing her horn, screaming at them to stop. And when the girl that chased him through the woods walked up Benny Hill Road and saw him standing next to the car, she said, "That's him." And Jody Sue told Candace he was checking my mail. He has not been anywhere. But he was wearing the exact identical clothes that they saw the person standing in the yard.
I'm glad she has support.
Yeah, I am too. Everybody needs support, but
Yeah. For sure. And I mean, when it comes to your kid, I would be pissed too. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I didn't think about it too, because I did. Oh, I never said that. No, I did. I did think about that. But the only difference is I thought he was 16 or 17. I didn't know he was 19. I didn't know he was an adult. He's well past an adult. But
Okay, on this channel, they are discussing the emotions of the parents. These are two people that know Dawn and Candace.
Remember when we talked to her and she was crying and stuff, and I've always kind of like, I would never drag her the way people do and be so judgmental of her and stuff, but it broke my heart to see her upset, right? But on the other hand, Dawn had just gone to jail. I feel like we've only seen them get emotional when Dawn's going to get locked up, or it's never centered around the kids. It's always centered around like other stuff,
So I was really happy that Chris Madonna asked Mary to tell the story of Dawn trying to sell his kids, his first two kids. A lot of people don't believe it. I personally do believe that this happened. And it always makes me think that if he could do that to his first two children for drugs, now he's strung out on drugs then, and he was still strung out on drugs when Summer went missing. So I think it's relevant. People don't want to think that this kind of thing goes on in the world, but unfortunately it does.
His ex-wife Pam had came in. It was 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, and she was crying up a storm, and she had little Donnie with her, and Margie was just a baby then, and she said that Donnie was down on 25th Street in Ogden trying to sell little Donnie for drugs. So, it was bad. And then, I just remember my mom and dad trying to talk to him later on that night. He had finally came to the house, and it was just a big mess, that's all he was interested in was drugs. It didn't matter if his kids. He didn't care about his kids. All he wanted was money and drugs.